Number one, correct to subtract 14 to start, and then divide by 2. And then right here, yeah, if you're at x equals plus or minus the square root of 28, you're in a good place. Now, if you put this into your TI-36 calculator, it will simplify it for you. It must be simplified. It's interesting to talk about how simplifying radicals is very important, just like simplifying fractions. How do you simplify a radical? You look for, you're going to use factors that can square root. So no decimals, but 28 divides by 4. So we're going to rewrite 28 as the square root of 4 times the square root of 7. And then your 4 is broken down to 2. Do you remember that, guys? Do you remember that? I think you were, yeah. I was listening to Desmond kind of explain this, so maybe I was just vibing off this. Who remembers breaking a number down into 2 numbers so that you could square root one of them and simplify it? Okay, yeah, that's happening here. I did, yeah. You know what? I didn't get to it yesterday. I don't like to maybe talk about every single detail on day one. I think that's overwhelming. So the other thing that you're likely to forget is the plus or minus sign. Did you guys do the plus or minus sign? Okay. Now, this one I fully approved for the group, but this one can be rewritten also. So I'm going to talk about this one also. This is as hard as we went yesterday, but I'm going to add a little bit to this today. Okay, so dividing by 3 over 4 or multiplying by their reciprocal gets you to 40 over 3. And then putting the square root bar is plus or minus. So we would be at x plus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 40 over 3. And then this takes some practice. When you subtract the 1, it lands in between the equal sign and the plus or minus. Now, if you were to check this answer in your book, it probably wouldn't look just like this. There is a whole simplifying. If you put this in your calculator right now and hit enter, do the radical button, and then put a fraction underneath there, and then hit enter and see if it'll rewrite it for you. It turns it into a
Yeah.
Lame. It turns it into.
Then if you click it multiple times, it turns to different number.
Essential in ACE Math 1. If you don't recognize the process of ACE Math 1, you will feel lost on a lot of pretty basic stuff. When you, this isn't wrong, it's just not done. So when you see like maybe a multiple choice question, you wouldn't even see this listed there. The problem is there's a rule that mathematicians said that denominators should not be radicals. So when I look at 40 over 3, it is the same as the square root of 40 over the square root of 30. And mathematicians would say that this 3 down here is a rule breaker. They only like to divide by integers, mathematicians. They don't want to divide by this. The square root of 3 is called irrational. It's a decimal that goes on forever. And so this is kind of rejected. Oh, are they going to call Junior?
Senior assembly is now over. Please allow students 5 minutes back into class. Thank you.
Next time, I can call it to call you. You know what you come with.
We're going to multiply the top and bottom by the bottom. So the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, this is 1. Can I multiply something by 1? Yes, you're always allowed to multiply by 1. So even though this looks like a complicated 1, it is 1. Anything over itself is 1. So when I multiply this, I end up with the square root of 120 over the square root of 9. And now I have the square root of 120 over 3. And now, wow, now this is a good denominator. Well, tops are allowed to be square roots, but the top could be simplified, couldn't it? Yeah. What's 120? You can put that in your calculator. 120 is what, 4 times 30? 2 times 15. 5 times 6. 30 is still inside. So I'm going to make 120 into 4 times 30. And I can square root 4. So this is now 2 square root 30 over 3. Now, I hesitate to go through this because I lose so many students. Like, that takes a lot of, all of this was just to rewrite a correct answer. This answer is correct. It is not simplified. This is simplified. When you check your answers in the back of the book, this is more likely to show up 2 square root 30 over 3.
Question.
I mean, if your intention is to go on to ACE Math 1, this is required. You won't recognize so many answers if you don't know how to go from here to here. The unit circle rationalizes the denominator. So once you get into your trig function, sine, cosine, and tangent, this really needs to be done.
How do you simplify if you run it as 13 and 1/3? You don't. So you would want us to rewrite it as 40.
Yeah. The higher you go in that, the less mixed numbers are used. And proper fractions are better. So instead of, your calculator comes out 13 and 1/3. Which calculator?
Yeah, my calculator did 13 and 1/3. It did 13.333333.
So you have 30 calculator.
Nah, I have.
A higher math calculator would give it 40 over 3. And proper fractions are better. All right, let's look at your assignment from yesterday. Open your books up to page 189.
Why is this negative crossing so high? And I realized I just made a big mistake. It's when you run away. I was so wrong. I was so tired. I feel very comfortable.
First thing I do is subtract 1/5 x squared from both sides. 3/5 take away 1/5 is 2/5. So 2 equals 2/5 x squared. Now you guys are probably going to do in your calculator 2 divided by 2/5. I multiply by the reciprocal, and I end up with 2 times 5 over 2, which is 10 over 2, which is 5. Square root both sides. So where are we getting lost on 18? Subtracting a fraction? Just look at the number. Even if you have to make that a decimal to move through the steps and then go back and look at the fraction, you know what I mean? Like, so if you feel like, hey, maybe if I saw this as a decimal, I could do a little bit of work here, try that. And then maybe the fraction visual will work a little better. I would rather you convert it to a decimal and go through the process than skip it altogether. Okay? Subtract 1/2 r squared. 3 over 2 minus 1 over 2 is 2 over 2, which is just r squared. Square root both sides, and wait a minute, you can't square root a negative no root solution. So today you're going to have your flip book out. You're going to remember how to do X factor. And you're going to solve by factoring. So everybody get your flip books out and review it.
191. We're in contact with you. Yeah.
Quadratic. The answers represent x-intercepts on the graph. 3, skip that. Number 2, explain with the answers. The answers are x-intercepts. Yep, you guys are factoring today. We've already covered factoring. Second week of school.